Hello, I'm Mr. Polk and welcome to my kitchen. What I'd like to show you today is how to cook the ravioli that we made and how to make a simple sauce. So I'd like to start with showing you how to make a blush sauce. And this is the recipe that I have in our modules. This started out as sauteed and we'll sweat some onions and then put in some garlic and then petite diced tomatoes, a little bit of sugar and then some oregano and basil, and just left it cook down. And now what we're going to do is to make it more of a smoother sauce is we're going to use your burr blender and just get in there and get it smooth. Just going to try to go around. Make sure that as you're doing this, you don't lift it out of the pot because you definitely don't want to splatter the stuff all over. I'm going to go just a little faster. It's okay to not take it smooth. Now if you don't have a burr blender, you could use at home just a regular blender or a food processor, or just let it chunky too. So now that looks pretty good. And what we're going to do now is what makes it a blush sauce is it's going to get heavy cream. So we're going to I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. I'm going to put in 1.5 cups of heavy cream. And then I'm going to mix it up. Like this. And then this sauce just has to come to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, I want to hit it with the burr blender again. Okay, just to try to smooth it out, because the tomatoes will smooth out a little bit nicer with all this liquid in here. So this is how you can make a really nice simple blush sauce. And if you don't have it like this, you could actually just take a commercial sauce that you have, jar that you bought, and then add some heavy cream to it, and then that turns it into the blush sauce. So there you go. So let me adjust the heat on that again. Get a little hotter, and all we gotta do is bring that up to a boil, and then we'll zip it again. Now let's take a look at our ravioli. So this is the ravioli that we made last time, and you can see that it has the ones made with the press and the ones made by hand. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cook them in the boiling water. So you have your water already boiling, already put a little bit of salt in it, and we're just going to drop them in. And they just cook for a couple minutes. I'm just going to put in maybe 2 of the cooked ones, or the pressed ones, maybe 2 of the homemade ones, and maybe this little guy that we made with the press. And we'll put in 2 more. Now, as I do that, what you can see is that any of them that had flour on, the flour comes off right away in the water. And then very quickly the water will come back to a boil. Now you could use a spider, or I'm just using a slotted spoon. You need to cook them until the pasta's al dente. A lot of times people would say till they float, but as you can see, depending on the amount of air that you might have, still have trapped in the ravioli, or how heavy the ravioli are, is they float right away. So they just have to cook for a few minutes. Remember, fresh pasta will cook faster than dry pasta because it doesn't have to rehydrate. Okay? So let's go back over here and take a look at our sauce. So I'm going to turn the heat down. And what I'm going to do is give it another zip. And then this is going to bring it together. And right now it's pretty liquidy, so I just have it on low. I don't want to be flicking anything out all over the place. With a high now that it's smooth. And you can see this has a really nice look to the sauce. It has a really nice thickness to it. Okay, so I'll take that out. Alright, now let's take a look. Turn that off. Let's take a look over here at our pasta. So, our pasta's starting to look pretty good. It's pretty much ready. A couple things you can tell is you can kind of press it and it breaks away like a cooked pasta. The color starts to change a little bit. One thing you're going to notice is it has that beautiful yellowish color, and that comes from the egg yolk and the semolina. At first people think, wow, it looks super yellow, but that's when it's concentrated. When it's rolled out like this, it looks great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these. So what I like to do is take them out and just put them on a plate before they go on the actual serving plate, because they are wet. You don't want to have water all over the place. And if you had to cook them in batches, you could keep them warm. Flip this guy over. There we go. This one. And if you froze them, you can honestly, I like to cook them right from frozen as well. So now for plating, what we're going to do is take our plate. You could use a pasta bowl, or in this case I'm just going to use a square plate. And one thing I like to do is take my ladle with the blush sauce and put a little bit in the middle, just to have something to lay them down on. Okay, I'm going to set this here. And then you can either use a pair of tongs or the spoon, whatever, and arrange them. If it's a bowl, you can put a couple of them out and just sort of kind of give them a cluster here, something that would look nice. So I got those 4, and then maybe I'll put the bigger guy on the top for a little bit of variety. And then here's the ones. This is how they look when you make them by hand. And then we'll put one more on there. So now you have your pasta arranged. Let me just get rid of this so I can work. And then I like to finish with a little bit of sauce. And here's the thing. If you don't want, this is why I like to use a blush sauce, or some people don't even use a sauce. They just do a little bit of butter or something thin. Is that the flavor should come from the ravioli, and the sauce should be there to back it up. Okay, the sauce shouldn't be hiding the flavor. And you can do all kinds of fillings. This was just a basic cheese filling. You could do meat fillings. You could do fillings with crab, lobster, sausage, anything you want. And then you can finish with a little bit of Parmesan, like that. And if you have to have some flat Italian parsley, you could put a little bit of that on there as well. So there you can see how you're able to take your homemade ravioli that you made, whether it's made by using the press or made by hand, and you can make yourself a sauce, whether you do a blush sauce from scratch, or you just use a jar and add some cream or milk to it, or you do a white cream sauce like an Alfredo, or if you just do a little bit of butter. Sometimes people take some of the pasta water and add a little butter to it, or a little cream, make a nice little sauce. Whatever it is you want to do, you can come up with a really nice dish. So thank you for cooking with me today, and I can't wait to cook with you real soon right here at Mr. Polk's Kitchen.